Someone who was active in the 68 campaign is Treasurer in the state of Nevada, and now the Congressman from the 1st District of Nevada, James Bilbray.
You know, as a young man in college at a small school called Nevada Southern, which is now known as UNLV, I was the head of the Students for Kennedy in 1960, and that was my first real bout on going out and lining up votes. Then I came back here and went to American U, went to law school, and went back to Nevada, and was so happy when Robert Kennedy announced that he was going to be a candidate for president that I immediately volunteered and was the treasurer. I don't think I was a very good treasurer because I didn't really raise a lot of money, but I certainly got deeply involved, and so did so many Southern Nevadans get involved in that campaign. And when the tragic events took place at the Ambassador Hotel, of course, I, like everyone here, was watching the events and cheering and rubbing it into all the people around there earlier that we had won the California primary and we were going all the way and Robert Kennedy was going to be president. And I remember during that campaign I did other events like kind of foolish acts like wearing a Kennedy button into a Teamster rally one day, which was probably one of those dangerous things I ever did in my life. But I was so proud to be part of this campaign. I had been a part as a student, but then now I was a young lawyer and was out there working the crowd, trying to build up support. And it meant so much to me, and to watch the bravery of the Kennedy family when they went through so much tragedy, that in 1983 I lost my son. And I remember my wife, she was up there, and we went with the funeral. And she told my children, and she told all of us, she said, now, when we go there, we got to be like the Kennedys. We got to be brave. We got to stand there. And even though it hurts so bad, we got to show the courage to the world that as a family, we can take any kind of suffering because what we've done and what we're working for is so important. And I was just so proud when I came to Congress to be able to come into Congress with Joe Kennedy and just be part of the 100th Congress class. And so often, when I look at tough votes, and believe me, we have some tough votes, and we'll be having some tough votes, you know, I look back to the memory of Robert Kennedy, and I knew I had met John Kennedy, and of course I knew his brother Ted, and I'd met so many, but I never got to personally meet Robert Kennedy, but I got to meet his wife Ethel and Joe and Carrie and all the rest of the Kennedy family at their home. And it has meant so much to me and my family. My young daughter and one of my middle daughters worked on the Clinton-Gore campaign this last year. And my children I think, are the next generation of liberals coming up. And my younger daughter went out and formed a college gym club at the University of San Diego, the first one that was out there. And I remember my daughter saying during the campaign, when she looked at Clinton and Gore up there, she said, every generation deserves a Kennedy. And she looked at these dynamic young people running for the presidency and the vice president of the United States, and she felt that they personify the Kennedys. And they are our generation of Kennedys. And we have another generation of Kennedys coming up. And I just want to tell all the Kennedys that I am proud to be one of your friends, and I'm proud that I participated in the Kennedy campaign in '60, that I was part of the campaign in '68. The Kennedy family has been an inspiration to all Americans and certainly brings out the best part of America. And God bless you for having the Kennedy family and for Robert Kennedy being part of our lives. Thank you.
Our next speaker in both thought and deed has exemplified the life of Robert Kennedy. He has just finished co-editing the collected speeches of Robert Kennedy and is now serving as the Deputy Director of the White House.